True wealth lies not in what you earn, but in what you give. The bridges you build for others will always outlast the walls you build for yourself. Stay with us till the end. Arman had always been the dreamer of his village. While others were content with their simple lives, he wanted more money, more respect, more proof that he was destined for something bigger. Every morning, he would stand by the riverbank, staring at the broken wooden bridge that once connected their small village to the bustling market town across the river. Months had passed since a violent storm had destroyed the bridge, leaving villagers stranded and forcing them to take a long, exhausting route just to trade, work, or send their children to school. One morning, Arman had an idea that made his heart race. He borrowed an old wooden boat from a neighbor and began ferrying people across the river for a small fee. The first day, he barely earned enough to buy himself lunch. The second day, word spread, and more villagers came. By the end of the week, Arman was making more money than he ever had before. At first, everyone thanked him for helping them cross. Mothers blessed him for taking their children safely to school, farmers shook his hand for getting their crops to the market faster, and traders appreciated his service. Arman felt proud he had solved a problem and was finally earning the respect he craved. But soon, greed crept in. He began charging slightly more, telling himself it was fair because rowing the boat was tiring work. The villagers had no choice but to pay. They needed him. Slowly, his good deed turned into a business. People started whispering that Arman was taking advantage of their helplessness. He didn't care. All he could see was the growing pile of coins he kept hidden under his bed. Arman believed he had outsmarted everyone. What he didn't realize was that the bridge he refused to rebuild was not just made of wood and nails, it was made of trust. And every coin he collected was slowly breaking that invisible bridge between him and his people. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the river in shades of orange and gold, an old man approached Arman. His back was slightly bent, and his white beard swayed gently with the breeze. This man was respected in the village, known for his wisdom and calm words. "Arman," the old man said softly, watching the young man pull his boat ashore after another day of ferrying passengers, "you are helping people, yes, but have you thought of the future? What will happen if another storm comes? What if this boat breaks or you fall sick? The village needs a bridge, a solution that will last." Arman frowned and wiped the sweat from his forehead. "Old man, I am doing what no one else is doing. Without me, these people would be stranded. And besides, this is good business. Why would I destroy my only source of income by building a free bridge?" The old man sighed deeply, his eyes full of concern. "Son, profit is good, but when profit blinds you to the suffering of others, it becomes greed. Be careful, one day, you may regret the choices you are making." But Arman wasn't ready to listen. As the weeks passed, his boat grew more popular, and so did his pride. He started charging even higher prices, saying the river was dangerous and the work was hard. The poor villagers struggled but had no other option. Mothers begged him to let their children cross for free, farmers pleaded for a discount, but Arman turned them away coldly. At night, he lay counting his coins, ignoring the murmur spreading through the village. People were starting to resent him. He told himself it didn't matter, he was finally getting ahead. But far away, dark clouds were forming on the horizon, and the river that had made Arman rich was about to teach him a lesson he would never forget. That night, the sky roared with anger. Thunder cracked like drums, and rain poured down as if the heavens were weeping. The calm river that Arman had crossed every day turned into a raging monster, swallowing everything in its path. Arman rushed to the riverbank, terrified, only to see his precious boat being ripped away by the current and vanishing into the darkness. The next morning, the village was in chaos. No one could cross the river. Children missed school, traders lost an entire day's produce, and worst of all, a young boy who had been sick all night could not be taken to the doctor on the other side. By the time help arrived through the long route, the child's condition had worsened. The boy's cries echoed in the village, breaking Arman's heart in a way no amount of money ever could. For the first time, Arman felt the weight of his choices. The coins he had collected suddenly seemed worthless. His so-called business had not just failed, it had failed the very people he had once promised to help. That evening, as the rain subsided, the same old man came to him again. He looked at Arman with sadness but no anger. "Do you see now, son? This river was never yours to control. The bridge was not just wood and nails, it was the lifeline of this village. And you let it rot because you thought only of yourself." Tears filled Arman's eyes. For the first time, he admitted to himself that the old man had been right all along. He had built a wall of pride between himself and his people, and now that wall had come crashing down, taking everything with it. Arman stood silently by the river, watching its muddy waters flow. But in his heart, something new was rising, a quiet determination to make things right, no matter the cost. The next morning, Arman didn't hide in shame. He went to the center of the village and called everyone together. His voice trembled, but his heart was steady. "I was wrong," he said, looking into the faces of the very people he had overcharged. "I thought only of myself, and my pride blinded me to your struggles. I cannot undo the pain I caused, but I will do everything I can to fix what I have broken." Some villagers were skeptical, others angry, but a few nodded silently. Arman sold what little he had saved from his earnings, even the roof of his own house, and bought wood, tools, and nails. Day after day, he worked tirelessly by the river, his hands blistered, his body sore. But this time, he didn't work alone. Slowly, one by one, villagers came to help him. Farmers brought extra wood, carpenters shared their tools, and children carried stones to strengthen the foundation. Weeks passed, and the bridge slowly began to take shape, stronger, wider, and sturdier than the old one. It was no longer just a crossing, it was a symbol of unity. When the bridge was finally completed, the entire village gathered on the riverbank. Arman stood by the entrance and placed a wooden sign that read, "This bridge belongs to everyone. Cross freely." The villagers cheered, children ran across laughing, and even the old man who had warned him long ago smiled with pride. Arman stood silently, watching them. For the first time, he felt truly rich, not because of coins, but because of the trust he had rebuilt. As the sun set behind the bridge, casting a golden glow on the water, Arman realized that he had not just rebuilt wood and nails, he had rebuilt hope. And in that moment, he knew, the greatest thing you can build is something that helps others rise. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more motivational videos.